Yo. Yo, 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 yo. What is up, Madden Elite? Bradley here. We're at it with another edition of The Wire. Speaking of The Wire, let's take another look at the new Wire logo that we just seen. Here it is. Check it out. It's beautiful. I love it. Bam. I love it. I'm very pleased with it. Major shout out to Arn for that Wire logo, right? Major shout out to Arn for that. Um, I believe our next episode of The Wire will have like an animated logo with that new logo for The Wire. Shout out to Julian. Julian will be animating that similar to this. Adorable. I love it. And also similar to this. Julian did both of those animations for us, and he's going to do one for our new Wire logo. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that, Julian. I love you. You're the best. You're the best, Julian, and also Arn. You're the best too. Thank you for that logo, Julian. Thank you for the animations. Shout out to Arn and Julian. Yeah, a lot of things in the pipe. That second animation we did, I imagine most of you are familiar with what that is for, but that animation was for the CFM network. If you're not a part of the CFM network, do join it. To my knowledge, it is the largest Madden server on Discord, and we may have stumbled into it, so we may have ownership of it, something like that. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of things going on over in the CFM network, but yeah, I could chat a while about what all's going on with that, but we'll refrain. There's a lot of things in the pipes here for Madden Elite. There's also a lot of things in the pipe for the CFM, and so there's just a lot going on right now. Super excited, super pumped. But I'll put a link to CFM and down in the description to that server. I believe it is now officially over 2,600 members, so it's a lot. It's a lot. And it recently launched this, like, I don't know the best way to explain it, but it recently launched over this past week. It launched this like massive chat that has the servers of like nearly 30 leagues all synced together, and they're verified leagues, meaning they're leagues with a minimum of 5 seasons, and about all the major leagues out there are a part of it. So like say you're in Julian's league and you type in yo, hey, what's up, it's going to go into the channels of all the leagues that have it synced into their server. So you'll type into it and it'll pop up from the message from Julian's server will pop up over in the MSR, and then someone can respond from it there, and when they respond from it there, it'll pop into Soda Bowl, and then someone will respond to it there, and the whole time Julian's guys over in his league are seeing it the entire time. So it's a bunch of leagues with their channels synced together. So cool, a lot of stuff going on. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's see. I'm brain farting right now. Bear with me, guys. I'm tired right now. In the middle of a stretch of third shift, and it's been rough. For those who I would assume most of our guys know, but like I work in the medical field, and it's busy right now. It's busy right now with COVID numbers spiking back up. It's not great. But it's all good. It feels like, though, in the scope of things for Elite, it feels like this has been a quiet week for us. Doesn't really feel like there's been too much going on. But I can tell you this, Madden Elite. I can tell you this. Behind the scenes. There is prep and work being done on a daily basis. And once we start rolling the media output, it is going to be ridiculous. And it's not just like one person doing everything. There are a lot of hands in the pot. I believe this cycle we are going to take things up another level, and that's what I want. I have this kind of like a guiding light in my life philosophy. I don't know if like that's a thing. Like, how do you say that? But a guiding light, I guess, in my life philosophy is healthy things will always grow. If you're doing something and you run into a point where it's no longer growing, divorce yourself from that thing. Like, remove yourself from that scenario, because healthy things will grow. And saying divorce yourself from that thing is probably not the best way to put it. But I don't like that terminology. Let's not you remove yourself from that scenario. Basically, same thing, but whatever. But yeah, healthy things will always grow. And when I look at what we got in the pipes, I see growth. I do want to talk though about like I say like we got a lot of people involved with the media. I do want to address one thing. I do want to address one thing, and that is the like media engagement surveys that we sent out couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now. But we sent out surveys to everybody in the league, and the majority of people responded. And there were a lot of people saying, "Yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. I have interest in that. I have interest in this." And it looked like things are going to be absolutely ridiculous. Like we had enough people like lined up for like daily articles with like a rotation of people, and it would have been like a very short load on people. And like things were looking like absolutely ridiculous, not only on that front, but on like every front possible. And while I have reached out to people and we have been able to get things lined up, when I look at the results that came in from that survey and I've like reached out to people being like, hey, you express interest in this, let's make something happen. For the most part, I feel like those conversations massively stalled out. And there were a lot of other aspects that like of data pulled in from those surveys of people interested in things that I wasn't even able to get around to. But from like the lack of response I seen from the little bit of reaching out I did do, like it takes a while to like formulate like all of the data. Like, okay, all these people were interested in this, I'm going to reach out to all of these people, I'm going to shoot all these DMs, and then to like get like little to no response on the follow-up, it's kind of deflating. And so I kind of threw the survey results to the side. I want to say this though. We put out that survey. We pulled in all that information. Y'all have expressed what you're interested in doing. I want to say this: the ball's in your court. So if you want to be involved in the media that we do, I want you involved. If you want to be involved, reach out to me and we'll coordinate things. You may not like me, that's fine. I know there are people that don't like me. If you don't like me, like, let's just set it up and you do your thing. I'll empower you however I can. You don't have to like me, but like with the sheer amount of crap we got going on, let's we need to coordinate these things. And when I say like the sheer amount of crap, so that you guys can understand, I have turned away content creators from working with us from the amount of crap that we have lined up and planned. We got this Wire logo, right? There are about like, I think in total like 5 show logos in development right now, of shows that are going to be regular, reoccurring shows for the league. Not all of them are going to be on a daily basis, but or on a weekly basis. But some of it will be. Not all of it, but we'll get everything into a rhythm and into a rotation. But yeah, we've got right now at the moment as we're looking at things, it looks like 5 regular occurring shows lined up, and we're looking at like 3 live broadcasts a week. So yeah, that's a lot. There are leagues that are doing more though. We'll figure things out as we go. Which I think the 3 live broadcasts. Let me see. I think we were doing what we were doing like 2 last cycle. We were doing 2 live broadcasts last cycle, and occasionally we were throwing in a third. Um, but it's fine. I don't want to. I want to be careful of like oversaturation. Like I don't want to do too much, but we definitely want to raise the bar. Definitely want to raise the bar. And as for like I said I made the mention of if you're doing crap, let's coordinate it all into the greater scheme of things. When we're working with the amount of content that we're working with, the releases of everything kind of piggybacks off everything. So, for example, whenever we look at the like all of those division reveal videos we did, I think there was like what was there? There was one for each division. We have Zell's Hall of Fame, and then we have the Champions panel. So that was like 10 videos we did for team reveals. Each of those videos, they were properly spaced out. They were given time for each of the videos to live and breathe. And then you look at like all the content we do, like we're not like, for example, this past week we did The Wire, and then we also did IC as War. If you look at those releases, those releases were spaced apart. They were all given time to breathe. And that's important. So all the content we do, we need to be sure to give it all time to breathe. So yeah, let me pull in something up real quick. All right. So looking at like all the content we do and saying giving it time to breathe, looking at numbers right now. In the mix of the volume we do, we want to give things time to breathe, but we also want to make sure that things are doing good. We want to make sure that things are doing good, things are healthy, and looking at numbers for like shows, analytics wise, views wise, our content is doing the best it has ever done. Last cycle, like my goal per video was 32 views. That basically is a statement that the entire league is engaged. Now that we've launched IC, there are going to be shows that are designed like as community shows for both the established league and IC, and then there are going to be shows that are specifically the established league. There are going to be shows that are specifically the IC league. When we do the shows that are like community shows, the goal is 64 views. Like we're running 2 leagues, and we want both leagues involved in the greater community. Looking at our numbers, they're the best they've ever been. But when I look at the community shows, the numbers aren't there. Like the past Wire that we did, Wire 38, the Elite Wire 38, that video netted 46 views. So that means that even though we've started the second league, I have to assume the lack of viewership is most likely from the second league. However, I say that, and when I look at the IC as War video, that one specifically towards the IC video or league, that did 40 views. So, little bit slower than the Wire, but still like that's 32 plus, so that is good. But I would venture to say I would probably assume more of our guys from the established league are watching that than the IC guys. So IC guys, shame on you. I do want to say though, when I look at the IC league, I see a lot of guys that aren't really active in it right now. And I want to talk about that. I have from day one of the IC league said that this league is not going to be treated as a second league. And I know the league hasn't even started. There hasn't even been a single game. We haven't had 1 week. The league hasn't even launched. And once it launches, I imagine activity is going to massively pick up. That is my expectation. However, once we launch, when I look at it, if I see guys uninvested and I see like I'm gonna like tell you this right now, I will replace you for guys who are invested. I have full power over the owners list in the IC League, and I am going to do very evil things to people that are uninvested. My take is like if you're not going to be invested in what the community is doing, if you're not going to be invested in the league media, I don't want you in the league. Like that goes like to both the IC League and the established league. If guys are uninvested, like why are you here? Go play in leagues that don't care about this stuff. And I'm probably alone in my thinking on this, but if you're uninvested, like IC League or the established league, I don't want you here. Please just leave, go away. And we'll bring in people who do care and are invested. But it is what it is. And I see guys be invested and show you want to be here. And if not, like we'll find people who are. And on that note, if you're on the waiting list for the community, show us you want in. You show us you want in. You engage in the community. You engage with what we're doing. Then I will gladly remove an IC guy. Boop, boop, boop. Is what it is. But yeah. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling. My apologies. We do have a little bit of business to look at. Not a little bit of business. Let's see. So, Arn. We already went over shout outs to Arn, right? We got more shout outs to Arn. Arn did another graphic this week. Let's check it out. It's beautiful. Here it is. Bam! There it is. So this is kind of a follow-up to the polls we did last week, right? This is a follow-up to the polls we did last week. Follow-up to the polls. And from those polls, we were able to calculate how the community viewed the divisions and the teams that had the highest percentage in the eyes of the community of winning their divisions. The top 9 guys are all the guys that hit at least 30%. Starting at the bottom of the list, Jew and South both had 30% were voted 30% chance of winning their division. Chuck was devoted a 32% chance, Kanyu at 33, Bread at 33, Orion and Jumper came in as 35, Zell came in as a 38, and Show came in as a 40%. So looking at these numbers, right, there's a couple things that stick out to me as I've kind of reflected more over it over the week. So South came in as a 30, Zell came in as a 38. A lot of people put South up really high, right? They put South up really high. And South gets a lot of praise, right? And that 30% is really impressive. But when I look at the rest of the division, I don't know how impressive that 30% South has really is, because he's also in division with Rob and P Will, who had very low results, and so their low results basically gave the opportunity for South's results to jack up, and Zell took basically all of the top votes in that division, so that means that South's numbers were inflated because of a lack of confidence in P. Will and Terop. I think if Zell would have been in almost any other division, his number would have been significantly lower. And like the mentality with South is he's a guy that the community buys into and believes into. But when I really analyze these things, maybe people weren't as high on South as we thought they were. The next thing that we have to mention. It's kind of a dishonorable mention. You know how people say like, we have an honorable mention for this. Well, we have a dishonorable mention. We have 2 dishonorable mentions. And these are dishonorable mentions because I feel like when we look at the numbers and the results, it is like a massive like disservice to these guys. And those guys are Beeman, who comes in with a 27% chance of winning his division. Comes in as a 27% chance of winning his division. Kanyu took his division to the according to the votes, with a 33%. So both Beeman and Kanyu were Super Bowl winners. When we did the Super Bowl panel, right, there was a little bit of smack that was spoken between both Kanyu and Beeman. And Beeman had a little bit of salt because Kanyu had a higher Madden score rating, right? Madden skill rating. I wonder if this just kind of adds like salt to the wound. The community spoke, and the community went Kanyu 33% over Beeman 27%. The mentality has been that Kanyu has been, or Beeman was the best player in the league last cycle. I feel like that's the main narrative, but is that the truth? The Madden skill rating, Kanyu went over Beeman. And then we look at these numbers, the league spoke and the league voted Kanyu. Like, what is the league's real mentality on Beeman? I feel like the narrative is he's GOAT level, right? Maybe not GOAT level, but best in the league. Is that the case, though? The next dishonorable mention is J Mac and his Giants. J Mac was a Super Bowl winner as well. Comes in with a 22% with two people in his division being voted higher than him. Piggybacking off the dishonorable mentions. So with the dishonorable mentions, there was kind of, I feel like, shade thrown the way of Beeman, right? Beeman came in with the 27%. I feel like there was also more shade thrown Beeman's way this past week. On I See His War, we had Dez on, and Dez was telling me a story. Dez basically established the pecking order in the league. And according to Dez, the narrative that we established in the aftermath of I See His War episode 2 is the pecking order of the league goes Jumper, Dez, Beeman. And the reason for this pecking order that was established, Dez is just kind of talking about like practice games that kind of went down, right? And I guess in a practice game, Jumper absolutely slaughtered Dez. And also in another practice game, Dez had the potential of running the score up like to like 60 against Beeman and put a thumping on Beeman. Has Beeman fallen? Shifting gears from Beeman though, is this Jumper's time? A lot of people, like I feel like up to this point have been very critical of Jumper. However, I've been saying the whole time, like, Jumper's my guy. He's good. I'm telling you, he's going to turn some heads. I feel like the last few shows we have done, people have spoken very high of Jumper. Has the narrative flipped? Are we seeing multiple narratives flipping as we approach the beginning of this new cycle? Is Beeman going to maintain his status? Has Beeman fallen? And are we going to see Jumper rise up? Is Jumper going to be able to live up to all the hype he's been getting in recent weeks? Looking at the numbers, though, from the polls that we did, the highest possible percentage of winning your division, according to the way like the polls played out, was 40%. I believe there's another 40% in the community. Looking at the IC League, someone who has gotten incredible hype wasn't really factored into this kind of the silly pecking order of Jumper Des B, right? Wasn't really factored into that. But if he was factored in, I think he's just going to be on another level, and that is the Browns owner and IC Mason. There have been stories floating around about how in Madden 20 he won 20 Super Bowls, 20 32-man CFM Super Bowls, 20 of them. No, I think it was actually 20 plus. They stopped counting at 20. The mentality and thought around this guy is the highest level of competition possible. And I feel like with all the hype put around him, it's Super Bowl or bust. It's multiple Super Bowls or busts. but yeah, with all the hype given to him, I would say that if we did the polls in IC, I would venture to say this guy's most likely 40% as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how all of this plays out. I'm excited to see how the divisions in Elite play out. I'm excited to get to know the owners in IC on a higher level. Right now, we're basically just kind of going off hype that a lot of people have, right? Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see how everything plays out. As we wrap this up, I do want to leave things on a different note. I was talking a little bit about analytics a bit ago. I want to know who's actually watching these videos. I want to know who's actually watching the content. So what I want you to do, if you are what I want you to do, the announcement, right? The announcement of the wire. If you're in the established league, when the announcement is dropped, or actually, I guess it'd be after the announcement is dropped, after you watch this, I want you to go and react to the post. Your reaction to the post is a message to me that you watched, that you saw this content, that you watched it all the way through and you got to the very end. If you're watching this and you're a part of the IC League, in the announcements channel, in the IC League, in the aftermath of this video, I want you to go to the announcements channel in the IC League, and I want you to leave a reaction to the announcement in the IC League as a message to me that you watched it. And further note on me asking you to do this, don't talk about it in chat. I don't want to see anyone talking about this ask. What I want to see you guys doing is seeing you guys act. So react to the post, message to me that you watched the content. It's obvious looking at the numbers, like we significantly have ground to improve to hit that desired threshold of 64 views, but we're going to get there. Healthy things grow. We've constantly been on an upward trend. Looking at numbers wise, like we never saw a drop off in the analytics for the league content, even like our fifth season was done. Like we maintained weekly content. I think there's only been 2 weeks since like our launch where there wasn't at least a wire drop. We've done content consistently since our beginning, and we've never saw a drop off in the content. We have seen growth from the IC League, but not the desired growth. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We will work and bring in the right guys, and in the end, we're gonna have something very special. I know the work that's going to be put into this. I know the work that has been put into this, and work that is going to continue to be put into this. I feel like our mentality in Elite is outwork everybody, and that's not really said in like a competitive way against anybody, right? Like we want to see everybody in the community succeed, but we want to also thrive to be the hardest working league that we possibly can be, and that's what we're going to do. But yeah, thank you for watching this. I feel like it's been a quiet week, right? So like I feel like we did a bit of fishing today, but yeah. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you all enjoy Sunday football today. But yeah, until next week, people. Peeps. Peace. Peace. Peeps. Why did I say peeps? Peace. Later, guys.